Daniel had never left home before. Vancouver in the clean, crisp summer of 1945 was full of wonder to this prospector's son from a remote village on the Arctic coast of Alaska. The reason for this happy visit was the end of the war in Europe and the return of his father by troopship that day. Amid whirling bunting and the cheering of proud relatives, the veterans clambered off the Canadian Pacific steam train, some to renew their previous lives and loves, many to face the bitter realization of unattainable dreams or unexpected betrayals. Daniel did not notice that his father was thin and gaunt, for he was still a great bear of a man and he bore gift-wrapped parcels of exciting shapes. A taxicab took the family to their cheap lodgings close to Lionsgate Bridge. After tea and once the first waves of excitement were spent, Father made his long-planned pronouncement. "We have 6 days before the steamer takes us home, my Hidges." Nobody knew why he called them that, only that it had a good, warm meaning. "And we will never forget these days because the Hun are smashed forever and we are together." The deep, flaky bilberry pie did the rounds again and everyone slept well despite their excitement, all 6 to the single bedroom. The days flickered by in a kaleidoscope of happiness. They watched folk skiing on the lower slopes of Mount Grouse, on long planks of wood that looked impossible to control. Many skiers came to grief and Dan and his family laughed till the tears came. They took a horse and cab to the wharves, bought toffee apples and walked hand in hand to watch the tradesmen at the sugar factory and the trawlers with their brawny crews. Thousands more soldiers and sailors returned on giant troopships and the family joined the welcoming crowds. They saw the zoo and a pantomime, gazed at the sleaze of Gastown, and sang with gusto on the Sunday, for mother and father were keen Presbyterians, he with his Dutch Reformed church upbringing, and she with a background of Wyoming and pioneer stock. The Sunday before they were to take the steamer north, father sprang his big surprise. There was a travelling circus in town, and damn it, they would check it out that very night. Before the great event, they squeezed into a packed church and joined in the songs of praise and the prayers of thanksgiving of the Vancouver people for the deliverance of their loved ones. Then to the circus. Clowns, elephants that could count, a giraffe, bears in kilts, dwarves, a Sasquatch monster from the forests of the Rocky Mountain Trench, black fuzzy men, balloon shoots for prizes, and coconuts from the South Pacific propped on posts. Even at 5, brought up among Eskimo children, Daniel could throw the wooden ball straight and true. And he could shoot a light gun with fair accuracy providing he could take his time. He glowed with pride at his armful of coconuts and wooden teddies. They cried with delight inside the sparkling waterways of the Canal of Love. They oohed and ahed with delicious horror in the House of Screams, as ghouls of sacking and animal bones swished by on unseen pulleys. Everyone but 7-year-old Naomi, who hated heights, was awed when father pointed to the monstrous roller wheel with its 18 swinging gondolas. Daniel sat on his narrow seat, filled with curiosity and sticky-lipped with candy floss. An Indian and a grinning Chinaman, both in top hats, checked that the family were all strapped in. Because he was so little, he was jammed in beside 11-year-old Ruth, his eldest sister. In front of him sat Naomi, his mother's hands clenched about her, and, at the prow of the gaily painted craft, just behind the carved redskin figurehead with its fearsome features, sat their father, beaming with pride and forever glancing over his shoulder to check that his brood were having the finest time of their lives, especially his dear wife, to whom he had sworn that very morning, as he held her close, that he would never, never leave her again, not for the Commonwealth, nor yet for the king himself.